If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
8 billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insight on African millennials on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
That's cool on the beat.
Anyways, it's the African Millennial Radio Show, and it's Tommy Wale again, and I have this very interesting dude. I think I've met him a whole lot indirectly through this dude called Sheyao, but many times he's bringing gist here and there about him. And from what I've heard so far is the testimonies and the gist I heard about him is of brilliance, of intelligence, of creativity, of hard work and all of that. But before we even say, let me even greet my people first, right? It's the African Millennial Radio Show. It's Tommy Wale, and it's a wet Wednesday in Lagos, man. I don't know how other cities are, but when it's a wet Wednesday in Lagos, it's traffic, right? It's what else is there again? It's flooded streets, it's a bit of 5 minutes, 2 minutes late before time, like what's happening right now. But then we're in the studio, right, and I'm happy to be here also, and I'm actually happy to have this conversation. Something that's been on my mind a lot. We're talking about global distributions for content creators, especially with music and artists, right? And I think that it's something that is very, very important. That's why I have this very interesting man that I'm going to be reading his bio and then telling you his name after. He has a vast experience in media marketing and corporate communication strategies. A graduate of international law at the prestigious Babcock University, Adedotun has worked and delivered top-level campaigns through different digital and media platforms for brands and multinational organizations alike. Presently, he acts as the editorial music and digital associate for Trace Anglophone West Africa. Right, so you want to see how you want to get your music, right, to be seen on TV, right? He's one of the guys that has to be the plug. Adedotun ADEKANMBI. How far now?
Oh, God, I do.
Oh, God, wait. I need help, man. I'm not your guy, please, I beg.
We all need help.
Yeah, you know that thing where they say, guy, I'm not going to dress too much now. Because if you dress...
Before you help, I say, you don't need help.
You don't need help, please, I beg. I need the help. How's it going, though?
I'm good, man. It's really cold today.
Yeah.
Lagos is doing its bit. So.
I mean, Lagos is Lagosing. All the things you're supposed to have done for the past 2 or 3 months.
It's converging now. We're even grateful that people haven't resumed fully to offices. Do you understand? Because it would have been a disaster.
Streets would have been blocked everywhere. Traffic. With the bridges closed right now. All right, so my guys in Ghana, my guys in Egypt, my guys in South Africa. It's a trans amusement park in Lagos right now. Trans amusement park it's an amusement park. We do bad and Mickey Mouse. It's an amusement park in Lagos right now. Yeah, you check Google Maps sometimes, and to tell you that with car it's 30 minutes, walking is 29 minutes. So just get down and just start trekking. All right, so what's been happening with you as far this year and your work and everything that's been going on?
I mean, I've been like really busy.
Especially with Ruta Free. Is that how you pronounce it?
Ruta Free. Yeah. I mean, we've had a couple of projects that we've done this year. Slow start into the year, but I mean, we picked up because surprisingly we thought like if Corona came and everything was just scattered, so people were hoarding money. Nobody wanted to like
even to
drop music, do branding, PR, because everyone was scared.
Yeah,
do you understand? And I mean, to be fair, you have to be, because it's really a tight period for businesses, especially like when there's no steady income or it's not an FMCG, fast moving goods. Do you understand? Like it's just something periodical. So people are scared of putting money now, then you lose. But I mean, during the lockdown, surprisingly, like we had a lot of projects that we're working on. Do you understand? Like we had a lot of digital projects that we're working on, because people already realized, you know what, music is not going anywhere anytime soon. Do you understand? So is the internet not going. We can practice social distancing, staying indoors, do all that, but I mean, you can't stay bored indoors. Content needs to be out there. You need to give people content. Do you understand? People are not shying away from content, so why not just put the money, promote, but instead of doing the old traditional, look at ways to amplify money.
Yeah, and in fact, from what you said, I was wondering why people would want to hoard money during the lockdown. Yeah. Maybe they might be thinking that they might not have the shows now. But I think with streaming, for example, it went up during the lockdown now.
Streaming is another story entirely. I mean, we're going to delve into it in this conversation. Do you understand? Because surprisingly, you will find out that about 95% or let's say about 98% of Nigerian artists, even with their songs being streamed right now, they're making little to nothing. That's streaming. They're making little to nothing.
Are the guys not paying up?
No, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. Yeah. All right, no problem. But at least I'm happy that you just didn't stay at home and then what's it called? Wait for one kumbaya, one day when a Messiah will come and cancel the corona and everything. You still had activities going on.
Yeah.
Did you do any of the challenges?
Not really, because I only use Trailer. Instagram actually. Okay. Trailer was because music, Geograph. So I had to like download Trailer, look at some of the content that I really was happy about. I think my fear for TikTok was when they came out with the whole, it's a Chinese company,
right?
It's owned by ByteDance. Oh, they are stealing people's data and all
so
that.
You didn't download it at all?
I didn't download it. So I downloaded it, but I was about to register. I don't know, something happened, so I didn't register. So I just left the app there. When I went to Medium and I was reading
so many things about it.
I'm like, okay, it's okay. Bye-bye.
I guess the West had a way of winning you over with their media strength over that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
anyways, so there's been this thing about boys trying to do music, and then let me start with this. Was something I usually always say, right? That Lagos is not a competition. Right. I've always been saying this since about 2016, and this is the reason. I said that whatever I do in Lagos is what Nigeria wants to talk about. Whatever I do in Nigeria is what Africa wants to talk about. So take it back. Whatever I do in Lagos is what Africa wants to talk about. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing as whatever I do in London and Paris. Being what Europe wants to talk about. Whatever I do in Chicago or New York is what North America wants to talk about. Yeah. Beijing and then Asia. So that means that whatever I do in Lagos right now has a way of getting a lot of international, what's it called?
Exposure,
recognition, engagement, and all of that. And I'm beginning to see that happen right now. Not to sound funny, but I think that it would be best for the guys in the other African countries to start having some conversations with people like you, because you are in Lagos, right? If they really want to have their very interesting Afro sound, to be recognized by boys in different parts of the world.
Right.
Now, so what would you now want to say has been what has been your observation on this? Say maybe from 2018. I don't want to talk about the Editorial, but let me say something about Come Closer, Whiskey's Come Closer time, right? Davido's Fall and all those things down to now. What are your comments on that? Your observation, especially with opportunities that those can bring.
All right. So for international exposure, I think I would like to state that it has been around for a while. Do you understand? Like the Western world has really had a focus on Africa, Lagos to be precise, because we can say boldly that 58% of African music comes from Lagos. Do you understand? Comes from a studio in Lekki. or something.
Yeah.
You grab. So there has been a focus over time, because before now, prior to Wizkid entering the scene fully, international scene, guys like D'banj, P Square, Don Jazzy, they had made their mark already.
Yeah.
You understand? But I think the Western world started really focusing on Africa as a continent, because the big labels started penetrating into Africa. Do you understand? So in the music world, we know that they are we call them the big three. So there are three big labels that pretty much control most of the music business conversations around the world. Do you understand? That's Sony, Universal, and Warner Music.
Okay.
Do you understand? Atlantic really right now is doing something of noteworthiness. They have Bonner under them. So we could say Big Four. So I think when the labels started placing a focus on Africa as a whole, that's when the Western world really started shifting. Because at the end of the day, man, these big three, they come from the Western world. Do you understand? So there's been a system in place. They have been able to define an ecosystem for music listeners in the Western world. Do you understand? So if there's a focus, if they sign an artist in Africa or in Lagos, I can remember Wizkid's deal came with RCA Sony. RCA is a sub-label under Sony, because the big three have sub-labels under there. Same thing with Universal has Motown Records, Rock Nation and the like. So, the focus really came from the big labels signing artists in Africa. And that's when people started saying, oh, Africa to the world, oh, blah, blah, blah. So there was a focus already, but it wasn't really intentional.
Okay.
Not until the labels started coming. And I remember that 2016 was, I think, it was the year that David signed a Sony deal. Do you understand? And then he had to resign again in 2017. Wizkid did RCA, I think 2016 as well, thereabout. So when the big labels started focusing on Nigeria, people started knowing that, okay, these guys are really, really doing something. Do you understand? Because to be fair and to be honest, the big labels kind of define the sound of what people listening to.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the Western world.
This guy, or even in the global world, this guy, Gangnam Style now.
Yeah.
Right, the Asian guy, and he just crossed over and then got into his side.
Yeah, side.
It was when he got into the Western media that he could have that 1 billion views.
1 billion views.
That he had on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, nice one. Now, there was a time that you had to maybe do your song, drop it on an album, right, and then walk up to the big men in Alaba, and then they give you a certain amount of money, right? It sounds big to you, but then it might not actually be what they make in revenue from it. But then you'll be happy that you made that sale, and you're gonna get your, apartment and a flat, and flex a piece in the club. Now, those men sort of control the distribution here.
Yeah, they did.
Right. Now,
and they are still doing it.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, they're still doing it.
Now, the people who control the global part also are there, like you just mentioned now.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is, or let me ask you first, don't let me just draw a conclusion. Do you think that these men, the distribution, the local distribution channels or structure we have in Nigeria, do you think it is commercially viable enough for an artist?
For an artist, zero.
Compared to, why?
Zero. These guys are not making, artists are not making money from. So if you look at traditionally in Nigeria, where most artists make money from, and they brag about it, it's either you get shows, or you get endorsements, or probably you go extra steps and you go by nook and cranny means. But it was only shows, and it has always been shows and just endorsements. If you're lucky enough, you get an endorsement. If you have a nice song or a hit song, you get shows. Do you understand? And on an average, if you have a popping song, some artists get, for a show, you could get 3.5 million.
Now the question is, those shows, how many of those shows do we have?
So in a year.
Yeah.
Well, they go to as much as possible, actually.
An A-list artist in Nigeria, how many shows does he headline in a year?
On an average, you should get more than headline
in a year.
So
Don't be artist.
Yes, so I didn't reason now because headlining shows is different entirely.
Yeah, from being called into.
You understand? How many show promoters really get money like that?
Yeah.
They are just a handful in Lagos that we can count by our hands. If you look at all the December shows, they are just a handful.
Yeah.
You mention Alaja, you mention Pumba, you mention or maybe Nelson Jack, you mention Papa. There no plenty like that. Do you understand? Or maybe brands, only Geo, First Bank, Zenith, this thing, blah blah blah. So the industry, the system itself, money no today to just do shows like that because there's a whole lot that goes into show production entirely. So not to now talk of you paying artists. Do you grab? Media houses like us, where I work. I mean, sometimes we pay the artist a fool. Sometimes it's a better thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. So I mean, we can afford to like do shows, cover the production aspect, cover the artist. That's all. For somebody that just wants to do like a big show and all that, I mean, there's a personal relationship marketing that works to you where you just meet the artist and you say, "Oh, Baba, I don't get this amount." But I don't think that if you have a popping song in Lagos, or if you have a popping song in Lagos, you have a popping song in West Africa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you understand? And you cross over to East Africa easily.
Yeah.
Do you grab? So if you have that, then sorry, I just got lost.
You're talking about headlining shows and how you can actually make revenue.
Yeah, so,
having a popping song.
So you make shows in a year. You might not headline shows. Do you understand? I know artists that don't even headline shows at all.
But then you're dotting around.
You're dotting around. You know, in a night you can have like 2 club appearances. One show. Okay. Each of those club appearances, they might pay you 1 million. They give you like free drinks as well. Just for a particular, because we do it every time.
So can we conclude that your name being on the streets of Nigeria doesn't mean you're making jack?
Yeah, no.
Okay, let's have a short break and we'll be back to talk about how maybe boys can start making this quick.
Oh yeah, no.
Business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
That's cool on the beat.
Alright, man, welcome back, guys. I mean, Adedotun was already going deep into it, and then he asked me that how many more minutes do we have, and I was like, what? So, just prepare your mind. We're still trying to see how we can get the limo to bring him back.
Right.
Or get the chopper to bring him back next time, right? For more talk, especially for things that you'd, also want to talk about. But let's talk about this thing, right? So it is established that being that guy on the streets, popping keke guys, listen to your music and everything, you might not be making
you might not be making big bucks.
So
you might be making big bucks, but definitely not from streaming.
So now what if you now take your music and then put it with the global organizations, right? Global distribution companies, or even put it on streaming services, right? So people can people from economies can maybe take 99 cents, for example, right?
From their disposable income.
99 cents is 500 or something, 400, and there's no disposable here. Right? Those places, right? They can't do it. Now, do you think, or what do you think the measures can be in actually making that revenue for the labor of the work of a creative from those environments? At least from Lagos, at least put it out there.
Lagos is really hard for labels in Lagos.
No, as in remove Lagos, you have the internet, right? Drop your music on it. What are the ways you think that you can actually, make that revenue from those areas?
So I think, firstly, to get money, you need to put money.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
And in terms of putting money, that's where your music marketing and promotion comes in.
Right.
Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, you need to invest to get returns. So it's an ROI-based thing. You get. So firstly, artists need to know that you drop a song on a streaming platform, DSPs like distribute and all that. You also need to go the extra mile of promoting it. Because if you don't promote it, you're not getting streams. And if you're not getting streams, there's no money in your pocket.
All right.
Because on an average, I think people can go on Ditto, DITTO, and check it. Like there's actually like there's a little section there where you can calculate like streaming payouts for each DSPs like Apple Music, Amazon Prime, and the likes of them. For Apple Music, I think it's about $57 or about 7 cents for a stream or something. Okay. So if you do that, or it's about 0.0075 for a stream. So if you do that times 1,000 streams, that's about $7 or $7.05 or something.
So you have to keep shouting.
So you need to keep shouting. I mean, you remember when one of our artists was saying stream, stream.
No, let's say stream Abba.
Yes, stream Abba.
He knows what he was saying now. Yes, understand more.
Do you understand? So the payout is not really, and in this part of the world, trust me, especially in Nigeria, we have about 87.7 million people using the internet.
Okay.
Out of the 87.7 million people, just about 27 million are on social media.
Okay.
And the percentage of people from that 27 million that are on social media is about that are streaming music. They are streaming music.
Would use the internet to stream music.
It's about 2 million or something.
It's very small.
Do you understand? Really, really small. And people that stream get money from their disposable income.
Yep.
Do you grab?
Yeah.
So I mean, if I have a better way to
stream
that,
exactly,
I will not do it. Do you understand? So imagine.
So it's small here in Africa.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
What about what can we do? Looking at the way the international, community is now looking towards Africa. Yeah. Right. What are the ways we can use to penetrate the global scene? Quick story. A friend of mine was in a train in northern UK, northern parts of UK. And then they saw this, this very local looking white girl, just freckles on her face and everything. And then he just heard some sounds playing. And then he realized that was alter music.
Right.
And then he had a conversation with her, and then this guy now started telling me more about, the boys,
Yeah,
the guy now asked her, do you know Wizkid and Davido? She said she doesn't know them.
Right, but she knows.
But then she knows those guys. I was listening to Masego recently.
Yeah, I love Masego.
I saw him on beat, and I was like, who is this dude? Yeah. So I just, fell in love with him, and then his playlist and everything.
Have you watched Tiny Dex MPO?
No, I haven't seen it.
You need to see it.
Now, I can imagine what it to be like.
Yeah.
Now, and also that actually has a song with Santi. Right. Yeah, so there's a way that I think that people can actually reach
out. So I think first thing is, guys like that, people should intentionally promote themselves.
Right.
And there should be a focus outside Nigeria.
Right.
So we're having this conversation because we need to sensitize people. A lot of people need to know that if you're in Nigeria, your songs might be popping on the street, but you say if you go to reflect for your body, say how much are they collect?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
That's true.
And how many people they really know me internationally? How many international followers are they get on Instagram, on Facebook? Are they get? So you need to place focus on doing ads.
Okay.
Do you understand? So it's about, if your content is good, trust me, even in Madagascar, someone there that has internet and it comes across your content, we want to stream over and over again.
That's very true.
Do you grab?
Yeah.
So it's not just about. I have a friend, an artist friend, King Perry. King Perry's stream doesn't even come from Nigeria. Most of his streams are from Europe, Eastern Africa. Do you understand? Like, that's where his focus is, and that's where he does more promotions.
And that's where he gets his box from. So you don't have to be the best thing in Lagos or VI or something.
I mean, they know you to an extent. Make sure that they know you to an extent.
Yeah.
But if you really want to monetize from this, right now with the situation in the country, people are not streaming music in Nigeria. We just have a little percentage.
Let the knowing be revenue.
I'm telling you. So you need to start doing ads that are focused, targeted ads outside Nigeria.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
Look at these facts are online. Do you understand? You just go look at Ghana. How many people? What's the people or users of internet in Ghana? Oh, what's the population like? Oh, streaming in Ghana. How many monthly users do Apple Music have? All these things are online. So you go, you calculate. If you see that your content can cross over to that side, I don't see why you shouldn't be doing targeted ads
to that area.
Yeah. Do you understand? And Facebook is like the number one marketplace right now. With over how many billion users?
People ignore Facebook
a lot. And Facebook is a gold mine. You're sitting on a gold mine if you're on Facebook. Do you understand? Not even Instagram. There's Facebook, there's YouTube before Instagram. So focuses should be in that areas. Do promotions to target that areas. If your content is good, trust me, Baba, people will listen to your music. People would happily pay to stream your music over there.
So now, you know what? I don't know if I should chip this in. Yeah. Some songs of it. You made a joke now. You were the one that made the joke about was it Joe Boy?
Oh yes, I did.
Don't let your songs be 10 seconds anymore.
10 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
But I kind of see something to that.
There's
right?
a pattern.
Make it like, for example, this show is 30 minutes. For example,
right?
We feel it should go for an hour.
I'm telling you.
But then you're saying that we should send the chopper next time, to drag you down for the next one,
yeah.
right? So it's short, it's sweet. You get what I'm saying?
It gets you excited. You want to listen again. So they would anticipate me.
So
on the show.
There's the psychological part for it. So that's the shorter the songs, the higher the streaming.
And once it's sweeter, it has a repeat value.
It has a repeat value.
You know, that's what they call it. Repeat value.
Should we talk about the psychological? Is it pattern? I'll call it. Or
so in music, there's something called BPM. It's, I think beats per minute. We're almost done.
Yeah.
So it's called beat per minute.
Okay.
So it goes along with your heart rate. There's some instances when you sit down and you're listening to like soft reading music. It's not bang. Yeah. So it goes with your mood. It goes with everything. And Joe Boy, for example, the kind of songs that he makes are songs that really, really get you excited. You just want to sit down and listen. So the BPM is going smoothly, but you can sit down and listen to Joe Boy for 3 hours non-stop on repeat, because he has repeat value. It's sweet, gets you excited, you want to listen to it again. Subconsciously, even when you stop listening to it, you're humming the song. So even if the song no sweet, if you don't get one particular rhythm, do you understand? BPM with your mood where you did.
You know what? I like what just happened, right? We've talked about it's like we've created a foundation first, right? So the next time you're here, by God's grace, next week Wednesday, we'll now talk about this detailed or. I need the English word. I think it's because you spoke pidgin to me.
We need to go into detail.
I don't even know. Right, we'll go into details, right, on how to now the kind of things that you should take note, right, on how to make sure that whatever you're trying to drop on the foundation we laid earlier, can bring some revenue and then at least make it popular. Man, Adedotun, thank you so much for coming on the African Millennial Radio Show.
I wish we had more time.
Right, and some people told me to make a shout out to them, and it's time already. Make the shout out next week. I have everybody. And everybody on Twitter, on Adedotun's timeline, right? I mean, you guys should go back on africabusinessradio.com to listen to this session. The podcast will be available later this evening, for people to. We are live right now though, but then the podcast version will be available for people to listen to. All right, guys, thank you very much for that wonderful time with Tomi Wale on the African Millennial Radio Show. And on this note, I'll say stay safe and bye for now. Yeah.
That's cool on the